that one's always a couple minutes
10
past.
seconds or so.
Yeah, just about. I'll wait for Liz to give you.
Liz will keep us in line. Liz keeps us in line. You'll find her near the periphery, near the boundaries too.
Because I have 6:30. Okay. I'd like to call to order the City of Safety Harbor Board of Appeals meeting for Wednesday, January the 8th, 2025. Liz, would you please call roll?
Absolutely. Ali Schaaf. Here. Susan Case.
Here.
Miguel Hicks.
Here.
Heather Norton.
Here.
Colin Young.
Present.
Christina Novus.
Here.
Caroline Allison. Here. Samuel Landis.
Here. All right, so first order of business will be approval of the minutes from way back. Our last meeting was in July, let's see, July 10th of 2024. Did anyone have any deletions, corrections, or addendums to the minutes? Okay, can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve the meeting minutes of July 10th, 2024.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, and those are approved. Okay, so this is a public hearing. It's a quasi-judicial hearing, and what that means is that all decisions will be based upon competent, substantiated evidence presented at the hearing. So comments will be considered only if they relate to the merits of the case. Unsubstantiated testimony and popular sentiment cannot be considered as the basis for decision. Because this is a quasi-judicial hearing, we have to follow certain procedures. So first, we will disclose any ex parte communication. So has anyone on the board received any communications? Okay. Seeing none, we will now, let's see, have anyone who intends to speak be sworn in by the clerk. So are you going to be presenting or speaking on behalf of your case today? No. Okay, all right.
I read the notes.
Okay, good. So nobody else needs to be sworn in then? Okay, so we have the following item up for consideration today. It's variance request 2024-36. VAR location is 215 13 Avenue South. Applicants Robert and Melinda Slaughter, who are the property owners. It is unincorporated, and the request is for variance to the Safety Harbor Comprehensive Zoning and Land Development Code, Section 149.00D, for the portion of the driveway within the city right-of-way. Two requests: one, to reduce the required width of the driveway from 10 foot to 8 foot, and two, to allow the driveway to be located within 3 feet from the extended north property line. All right, you're going to present for us?
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. Thank you.
Oh, I forgot to ask, have the appropriate notices been made for the, thank you very much. Okay. Oh, and then party of interest, do we need to, I don't think we have anybody in the audience wishing to do so. So can we just skip that? Okay. If there's anyone in the audience who wishes to be made a party of interest, we can have our city attorney explain what that is. It basically would just be an additional vested interest in the case besides just typical community. Seeing none, okay, we can carry on. All right.
Good evening. Before you is a variance application for 215 13th Avenue South. So this property is located right outside of the Community Redevelopment District. And then the all surrounding uses are single-family residential. It's within the residential urban future land use. And then this property is currently unincorporated. So the property has recently has a building permit for a single-family residential and a driveway approved through Pinellas County. So this whole plan was reviewed by Pinellas County Building Department according to Pinellas County code standard. So this house was recently completed. The construction was done, but when the property owner went to pour the driveway, they ran into a little issue. So since the driveway apron and the connections are within 13th Avenue South city right-of-way, the Public Works Department were unable to approve this since the width and the setback of the driveway are not up to city code standards, although they are up to Pinellas County code standards. So the applicants were recommended by Public Works staff to seek variance from the City of Safety Harbor. So the Public Works Department can approve the right-of-way permit for a driveway. So this is the code section that the applicants are seeking variance for. Our code requirement requires the driveway to be at least 10 feet wide and at least 3 feet away from a property line. But the proposed driveway is 8 feet wide and less than 3 feet from a property line. So these are the two variances that the applicants are seeking today. Here is the picture of the driveway in question. The staff recommends approval of this variance. So tonight, the board may approve with conditions, or denial these variance applications.
Thank you, Ms. Chen. Okay, and does the applicant wish to speak? I know it's a fairly comprehensive presentation, but did you have anything you wanted to add?
Not unless anybody has any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
We may have some coming forward, but if you have nothing to say at the
Okay.
time, then you can always come up if we need to ask a question. So do we want to, I guess if there's nobody else in the audience that wishes to speak on the topic? No, okay, then I guess we'll close the public comment section and we'll just,
When can we ask Cecilia a
yeah,
question?
and then we can board discuss and then ask Cecilia if there's questions as well. So did you have something for?
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Cecilia, Section 149, driveways and access management. I just wanted to find out if there are any utilities or storm sewers within that easement, just to clarify that.
I don't think so.
Okay, you're,
Because this variance was recommended by Public Works staff, so they already reviewed that and made sure there's no
I
conflict.
just wanted that for the record, that there are no utilities or storm sewers on that, in that right of way.
Did anyone else have any other questions or comments?
Just, I guess there's been no public, like, nobody's written in about this complaints, more specifically the neighbor, which would be the only person I would think would really object to this, because it does, to me, seem to be in the spirit of, except for that 3 feet, but it's like, if the neighbor's okay with it, it's a narrower driveway, it seems to be within the spirit of what we're trying to do here.
We did not receive any public communication regarding this.
Okay, so I can assume there wasn't any issue with the utilities or sewer line. Okay, we'll go with that. Okay. One other question I do have is, Cecilia, do you know when these owners applied with the, for the incorporation into the city? Was that done at the same time they applied for the building permit with the county? Or was this done way after the fact? Do you know that?
The annexation application we received that after the building permit was approved. So the city ended up entering an annexation agreement with the property owners, basically saying after the building permit is finalized, then we will start the annexation process. So this is to stop the confusion between like the transition, like permit reviewing between the county and the city, because we have different standards and then the process already started.
So at the time that they applied for this annexation permit, they were unaware there was going to be a pending problem with the right-of-way, correct?
They're not aware.
Okay.
So is this variance request to, I'm sorry, there's no site plan in our packet. So is it to approve the driveway being not 3 feet from the property line? And even though it looks like it tilts away, no, it doesn't.
So
It doesn't
basically,
meet that
This
requirement.
variance is only for this portion because this, the private property is still within Pinellas County jurisdiction.
Right.
So the only part that we can seek, approve variance for the small portion within the city right now.
Okay, even though if it were annexed into the city, the driveway would then also be in conflict with the 3-foot setback.
So at that time, that will be considered legal non-conforming because
Okay.
by the time when it was approved and constructed, they were up to Pinellas County code requirements.
Okay.
So we're not going to have to go through this again
No.
That's my
in annexation. Good.
Okay. So we would be approving that it's okay that the apron flare is not 3 feet from the extension of the property line?
Correct.
Okay.
And
this
that
is
it's only 8
for
feet.
right-of-way use permit. I'm sorry?
And that it's only 8 feet wide.
Correct.
Correct, yeah, okay.
Okay, so in summary, this is a completed project. The driveway's already been done according to code standards for Pinellas County. After the fact, the residents are requesting an annexation, which is, the holdup is just that flared portion, the apron, and then following, if this is approved tonight, then everything at that point is like legal non-conforming and they're good to go. And what, out of curiosity, what is the distance between the property line and the edge of the driveway? Do you, just to,
Can I answer?
if you have the, if you.
2 feet.
2 feet, okay.
I have, if you can put it up there, I have the original survey when the.
Yeah, come up and then just state your name, because all of this is recorded, so just your name and address, sir, for the records, and then we'd be happy to hear you. Oh, yes, and I think you also. thank you.
Oh, my
And
name's Bob Slaughter.
One quick thing, you also, I think, have to be sworn in too, right? Yes, sorry.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So if we can show the other drawing. The driveway's in the exact location that it was when we bought the property 3 years ago, February of 2022.
Okay.
There was a small 700 square foot wood frame house there. So when we submitted the plans to Pinellas County, they basically followed those parameters and met their code. And they don't require a 3-foot distance from the neighboring property line, and they don't require anything more than an 8-foot driveway. So we weren't aware that these things existed until, and Cecilia's been very helpful, until we applied for the annexation, because you have to annex in to the city of Safety Harbor now to get access to sewer and water. So that it's kind of a catch-22 thing that's come along here as we've developed the project. Because originally, we've lived in Pasco County for 30 years. We were gonna put a septic and a well on it. We had no problem with that. We've had a septic tank for years. But then we found out, after the plans were drawn, that the Florida Department of Health won't allow a septic tank as long as there's sewer and water within 25 feet of your property. So that's when I met Cecilia.
Gotcha.
And the rest of this journey began. Well, by that time, the footers for the house, the stem wall, I mean, it was 80% complete.
Sure.
So this is probably a real hardship, because if we move that driveway, I won't be able to get in the garage,
Sure, yeah.
literally.
Okay.
Well, I could get in the garage. So anyway, that's where we are.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions for Mr. Slaughter while he's up? No. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, does anyone else have any additional comments?
Thank you.
Would anyone like to make a motion?
I move to approve variance 2024-36 VAR.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor, or do we want to do a roll call? We'll just do all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, seeing none. Okay, congratulations. Your motion carries. All right.
Neighbors.
Yeah. All right. And then, so that concludes that. And then as far as other business, I have board and staff reports. Do you have something else for us, Cecilia? Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Take care. Do you have anything else for us, Cecilia? I have board and staff reports, or Carol, is it nothing? So does this adjourn our meeting then for today? Okay, so I have 6:43, does it sound correct? All right, here we go. Yeah, who are we all going at? Just do the last bit?
One chair to the
Yeah.
right.
You want to shift? Shift.